Oh, you got it on?
Yeah, it's on, but I'm just trying to, yeah, here we go. Okay. Okay. So, we got anybody? We have 3 people. Hello, can you hear me? Whoever's out there, welcome to Sunday afternoon. It's Stephen and Walter Live. You'll just have to excuse Walter. He's working in the background because he forgot to put in dinner for tonight. So it's Sunday night, and we're having dinner. We're having a traditional Sunday night dinner. Roast beef, or roast beast, as I like to call it. So Dorothy's here. Hi, Dorothy. How are you? And as you can see, I'm also into the wine a little bit. So he's working back there madly doing whatever he does to a roast. I don't know. He cooks roasts in a very different way than I do. That's good, Dorothy, to hear.
I do it the right way.
Oh, yeah, he does it the right way. Yeah, the Dutch way. I don't know. Okay, you tell me, people. This is how I would do a roast. Well, it's how I did a roast before I met him. You know, you take your roast, you put it in your roasting pan, you put a little water in the bottom,
You're boiling it.
You put a little water, you're not submerging it, and then you add a little bit of stuff on the top of your roast, a little tomato sauce or ketchup, that kind of thing, some pepper, some salt, maybe a little, you know, oregano or something, and cook it. He doesn't do it that way. He gets the oven preheated.
Well, I'm not doing it that way today.
Oh, so you're switching it.
I'm taking a shortcut.
Oh, a shortcut. And what's that? Usually what he does is he puts some butter in the bottom of the pan first, puts it in the oven so the butter melts and starts to get just when it starts to get a little brown, takes it out, puts his roast in that, and then he seasons it, puts his stuff on it, and away it goes. Actually, it usually works out.
It's so that you can get darker gravy.
Oh, it was so you can get darker gravy. Well, if you burn it, it'll get dark. So what are you doing different today, Walter?
Well, I'm not letting the butter melt first because I'm in a rush.
Why are you in a rush?
Because I don't want to wait 5 hours to wait till the butter melts. So
okay.
I have to.
So he's doing it different. Whatever. He's cooking it. I'm not, so it'll be fine. Hi, Sadiq. And Dorothy says, I put a little water in the bottom. It tenderizes the beef. Okay. And Chuck is here. Hi, Chuck. Chuck, yeah, I don't think you've ever made it to one of our live ones, have you? Everything is better with butter, he says. Julia Childs would be proud of Walter. Oh, it's Julia Childs. Oh, yeah, we'll put a little wine in. And oh, she's dead. Died from her own food. Oh, there's a message that was written, but it's been hidden. Let's see.
Okay, back.
So DQ. So DQ. That's how I say it, right? So DQ. Emphasis on the Sue. Is it Sue or is it so?
You're getting some sort of a weird
what? A weird what? I don't know.
Reflection.
Where are you seeing the reflection? Maybe it's off your head.
Maybe it's.
I don't know. So it's Sue, right? Okay, as in like if I was to write it SUE, as in the name Sue. That's how I say it. It's not so. It's Sue, right? Trying to get this right. It's a family nickname. Oh, okay. And Linda, hi Linda. She says I put water as well with mine. And okay, so we've got.
See, I don't add water until it begins to look like it's going to dry out. So.
Oh, okay. Well, whatever. Everybody has their own way, but actually, I seldom ever cook a roast anymore because
I do it the right way.
Because yeah, okay. Enough said. But what I do make, people, and I'm going to show these to you, and those of you that are from,
I don't make these. So.
If those of you that from, he can't make these.
I haven't tried.
Oh, bull roar! It's my secret ingredient. I made Yorkshire puddings, and I make huge Yorkshire puddings, and they come out perfect every time. And if I told you how I make them, I'd have to kill you. Actually, that's not true. It is such a basic recipe. Any of you that are English know how to make Yorkshire puddings. I mean, that's traditional food with roast beef. And being Canadian, well, we like our Yorkshire pudding too. Those of us that come from an English background. And
Yeah, I never had Yorkshire pudding till I met him.
well, my mother used to make it. And this is the ironic part. I have my mother's recipe. And my mother doesn't make them anymore. Well, she doesn't cook anything anymore. And she was over one time for dinner. We had a roast and we had Yorkshire pudding. And she says, "Oh, your Yorkshire always turn out so great. Mine never do. What's your secret?" And I said, "Your recipe." It was my mother's recipe. It's very basic. I double the recipe to get ones that size because I've got big muffin tins and I like them that size. Because if there's any left over, you can do a stuffed Yorkshire as well. Again, people from England would know what I'm talking about when I say stuffed Yorkshire.
Stuff your Yorkshire.
Oh, stuff your Yorkshire. Oh, stuff it off. It's going to be that kind of day, is it? So all it is 2 cups of flour, 2 eggs, 2 cups of milk. I use skim milk, actually, because that's all we ever usually have in the house. And, you know, a little bit, maybe half a teaspoon, I just freehanded salt. You put it in a blender, but first of all, you put the eggs in, and then you blend the crap out of the eggs so they get real frothy. Then you put in 1 cup of the flour, 1 cup of the milk, and your salt, and mix the crap out of that in your blender. Meanwhile, you've got your muffin tin. I spray the muffin tins with Pam first, but then I put a little bit of oil. I usually use olive oil because that's usually what we have, but it doesn't matter what kind of oil. I put a little bit into the bottom of the muffin tin so it just covers the surface of it. I jack the heat up in the stove, in the oven, to 425 degrees Fahrenheit, and I put that muffin tin with the oil into the oven, and I let it sit in there for anywhere from 10 to about 12 minutes until it just starts to smoke. The oil starts to smoke. Meanwhile, I've added the rest of the milk, the rest of the flour, and everything, mixed it up well, pull out the heated muffin tins, pour it in, put them in for about half an hour, bingo, presto, work every time. So now you have the secret and I have to kill you all. Okay, simple as that. Sudiku says, "I brown my roast, then I braise it in beef broth." I've never.
Yes, if you braise it, so that might be a tough roast because the roast we have in there is a sirloin tip, which is a fairly tender roast.
But it'd probably be a good idea if you've got a little tougher piece of meat to do it that way.
Yeah. Well, if I braise something, I'll do it in liquid. Yeah.
Well, what does braising mean?
Braising means cooking like a long time. It's just like when you make
Like
beef
slow
stew.
cooking. Yeah.
Slow cooking, so that the meat is tender and falls apart. You know, like when you make
yeah, okay.
Stews.
I don't know. Every time I hear braising, for some reason I think broiling.
Yeah, I always thought it sounded like
or searing.
I thought it sort of sounded like searing, but no, braising is actually cooking it a long time so it's tender.
Yeah. Chuck says use coconut oil, no smoke and a wee bit of flavor. But Chuck, that's how I know my oil is ready, when it smokes with it. Although coconut oil, I don't know, would coconut oil it would give it kind of a coconutty taste though, wouldn't it? Or does it? I don't know. I've never really cooked with coconut
oil.
I'm
not fond of coconut, period. So
yeah. But anyway, everybody's got their own secret to it, and if it works for you, it works for you, and this works for us. Sudiku says, I had to learn how to cook the cheap beef, and I had 2 boys, had to make the meal for cheap. Yep, yeah, meat's not cheap, that's for sure. Chuck says, how about clarified butter? We're not having lobster, Chuck. I don't know. And how do you clarify butter? It's just melted. Don't you need to strain it, or what do you do with it?
Clarified butter is just, all it is that when you melt the butter, it has that stuff that floats on the top of it.
Fat.
And it's that frothy stuff, and you take that off.
Fat.
And it has, it's just the clear part of the butter. There's also a bit of milky substance in there, and clarified butters, you take that off.
Oh, okay. Well, learn something new every day.
So it's just really clear butter, so it looks like oil.
Oh, okay. So anyways, that's what we're having tonight. And did you put potatoes in there?
Not yet.
Oh, okay.
You don't have to.
He was busy this afternoon. He bought some new cupboards he's starting to reorganize his workshop. And you've heard me talk about the disaster that is before. So he got a couple of cupboards.
Yeah, you have to step over stuff, right?
And so he had and there was some assembly required, right? So he's got one together and where he wants to put it. And So it'll look nice when he gets it done. Just be another place for more crap, I guess. But whatever.
Well, it's someplace to put the existing crap that's piling up. So
Chuck says Walter knows high heat point. I guess that's for the clarified butter. Anyways, yeah. So that's tonight's din dins, and yeah. So what else is up? Well, it snowed. You know how last week we were talking about maybe sometime we should like do part of our broadcast outside when it's snowing so you can see what it looks like? Well, right now we don't.
Gone now.
It's gone now. It's melted. But we had our first snow of the season a little early this year. We don't usually get snow. Well, I'm not saying usually.
We
had
often get a light dusting at this time, which we just got a light dusting.
Yeah.
A light dusting enough that I didn't have to shovel the driveway.
Well, yeah, it melted off it. Actually, if you watch my vlog tomorrow, I'm going to put a short little clip showing the snow on our front lawn. It's kind of depressing to have snow.
Yeah, well, plus I hadn't raked all the leaves yet.
So we got snow on the. Well, right now we have soggy leaves because of it all. But it could be an early winter this year.
Who knows? It may be just a false.
Well, who knows? Well, when are we going to Australia? But anyway, so we had the first snow. The first snowfall is always pretty, though. I mean, you wake up. I remember as a kid, you'd wake up one day in November to go to school, and you'd look out, and the first snow had hit, and you felt kind of in the Christmas mood. You felt kind of, I don't know. There's a funny feeling that comes with the first snow, and then it melts.
And reading all the Facebook comments from people who live around here, all saying "ugh."
Yeah, well, yeah, I'm sure. Hi, Cherry A19 Johnson. Cherry, can I call you something that's shorter than Cherry A19 Johnson? And I'll write it down so that I'll remember. She says, hi, Stephen and Walter. And it's Anita. Okay. You already answered my question. Okay, I'm going to put that in here. So Cherry A19 Johnson is Anita. Okay, Anita. She's on her tablet, so not sure how typing in chat will go. You should be able to, because I've done it before. You just, on your bar down at the bottom, you should see a place for it, and your little keyboard will come up, and you can type away. Chuck says, yuck snow. They've had their first snow in Chicago as well. Well, of course, because Chicago...
You're below the lake.
Yeah, below the lake. So they're going to get a lot more than we get.
Yeah, Chicago gets...
And Linda says it's supposed to warm up this week, though. And Chuck says, I would agree. The first snow is sublime. And Anita says, cold and just starting to rain. Yeah, that's November. November's always a gray month.
Yeah, it's kind of
a depressing month. It's that
along with the other winter months.
It's that month between, you've had Thanksgiving. Well, here in Canada, we've had Thanksgiving, we've had Halloween. The Americans, of course, haven't had Thanksgiving yet. They don't have that.
They're having that Black Friday.
Yeah, that's right. But November just seems dead, and then suddenly December hits, and of course everybody's in the hubbub about Christmas and whatnot, and then we have the January blues into February. So, anyways, speaking of Christmas, yuck, bah, humbug. Okay, I don't like Christmas, and I've talked about this before. Actually, it's not so much that I hate Christmas; I just hate all the hubbub. Now, this year, for the first time in 3 or 4 years?
3 or 4 years. I can't remember.
We are actually going to be home for Christmas. We have tried to avoid Christmas by going to Florida or...
Actually, what's nice about being away is that you don't have to feel the urgency to shop. Even while other people around you seem to be scurrying around and getting ready for Christmas, you don't seem to have that what do you call it, stress of trying to get ready for it.
Yeah. And all that. Now, mind you, we don't buy any gifts anymore because we're all too old to bother with that kind of thing. And if we want something, we buy it for ourselves anyway. So we don't bother with that. And but this year, since we are going to be here, it's our turn to have everybody here. And actually, I'm hoping it actually sounds like it might shape up to be not too bad a day, because the more, the merrier.
Yeah, so we've got all the in-laws and outlaws.
Yeah, my mother's coming, my sister and her husband, and I imagine their 2 kids, my nephew and niece, are coming, and hopefully your sister and her husband, and your niece.
Maybe my niece and maybe my nephew and his kids and the wife. I'm not sure.
Yeah, so we could have a whole.
So we could have a slew of people. But if you cook for 10 or if you cook
doesn't matter.
if you cook for 5 or if you cook for 10, it's the same. So
And guess who cooks the turkey? Not me.
I do.
He does, because you know.
Well, no, you cooked it last time, I think. Whatever you did.
Well, I probably put it in the oven, but
Yeah.
you probably kept over my
But
shoulder.
you make me carve it up.
Yeah, I don't like carving turkey. My idea of carving turkey is grab its little legs, rip them off, and get a drumstick. Everybody goes for it. Here's your wing. Boom.
And that's not something actually I grew up with, because my mom basically did what you did.
Yeah.
Put the turkey on the table and you just sort of.
Well, my parents never had a great big. They just basically that's what they did too. Like they used a knife and rip it apart.
Yeah,
But
my mother used to chop it up.
I have no idea how you carve a turkey, but you looked it up in the cookbook once.
Well, no, I usually have to look up the cookbook every time I do it. I can never remember which way to cut it.
Well, the thing is, the more people we have, it's going to be buffet. Yeah, I'll have some tables set up in our rec room, but I can't fit everybody into our dining room for that many people. So, and that's just fine. So, maybe we'll play some trivia games or something too. I've got a few things, and you know, it could be fun. So we went out and we're looking at some more Christmas decorations because I said I wasn't putting up the big tree this year. I haven't put it up in 4 years, so I wanted a little tree. So I found a little tree with lights on it, and then Walter found some little decorations we can put on it, and then.
I'm still trying to figure out where I put those.
Oh, you can't find your balls?
No.
Your Christmas balls? Then I'm sort of getting into it. So we're in the grocery store the other day, and lo and behold, I see a gingerbread house kit, you know? And I'm thinking, I've always said I want to make one of those, but I've never done it. So I bought the kit. He's laughing because he figures it'll turn into a disaster, but I don't have to bake anything with it. It already has got the preformed gingerbread, and it comes with the gluey icing. And worst case scenario, if I run out of icing, I have a glue gun. No one eats those things anyway, so just stick it together. I don't know. We'll see. And I made, and you'll see this tomorrow on my vlog. I'm not going to show them to you now, but I went and got some material yesterday, Christmas material, and I made 10 cocktail napkins with my serger, and I used my Cricut Maker to cut the material.
Is that all you could get out of the material?
No, I still got more material,
Oh.
but I just did 10. But I'm gonna get some more material on Tuesday, and I'm gonna make regular dinner size napkins because I don't have enough to make. I might have enough there to make only about 2 of those. But I hope the sale is still on. It was 40% off on that material. I hope it still is. I don't know if I'll get exactly the same material or get a variation. But anyways, I think they turned out really nice. I bought some.
Actually, I think the sale might still be on, because I think I read something about it was like a November sale.
Okay, well, I hope so, because that material was $22 a meter, and I got 1.5 meters, but I got 40% off, so that was a little better. But I think they turned out really nice. You like them?
Yeah, I like them. I think they look nice. And actually, the back, even though like the print's only on the one side, the back doesn't look too bad either. So
Well, the back has a different print, it looks like, but I think it's the first layer
yeah,
of whatever they did. So the backs look pretty good too. But then I decided to recycle some of my old white napkins. You know how I've been doing that. And I thought I would make up my own fabric paint. And well, I'm saving that for tomorrow. I'm rendering the video now. It's crap number 17. Everybody knows what crap stands for.
actually, a napkin sort of looks like crap.
Yeah, right. Well, it didn't work, but I like to share my failures as well as my successes to let people learn from my mistakes. And well, I have now very attractive paint cloths that have a lovely surged edge in green and red. It's very festive. It's for cleaning up your Christmas crafts. I don't know, but you'll see that. I'll talk more about that on my vlog tomorrow. So anyways, what else have we been up to? Oh, I dragged my mother out to get her flu shot. That was fun. Not at all. But we managed to get it, so she's all flu shotted up. Just let me back up here to see what people are saying, because there's a lot of discussion going on here. Yeah, let's see. So we ended up with Anita saying it's cold and just starting to rain where she is. And Sudiku says the hard thing is that the skies will be nonstop gray until about March. Yeah, I know. That's the worst part about winter is, you know, deprivation from sunlight.
Well, no, yeah, actually, but here it can get really cold and sunny. So
And then you're blinded. If there's a lot of snow and it's really sunny out, it blinds you. Literally, you can get snow blindness from it if you stare at it too long or not wearing sunglasses or whatever. Dorothy says in Canada, it wasn't that long since you had 31 degrees C temps. Yeah, I know. Only a couple of, well, 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
It was.
But that was kind of unusual for October to be that warm.
October's not usually
In fact,
that warm.
That's normally our leaves are gone by this time of the year, and actually the last few sort of fell off this week, because this is first time this week that we've had a frost.
Yeah. So
and usually we get a frost sometime beginning of October. So. And
I never picked those ghost peppers off my plant out there, and now they're frozen ghost peppers. They're probably all rotted. Oh well, they were too hot to eat anyways. Chuck says, be sure to have lots of wine available. The more the merrier. Oh, there is no doubt about that. Believe me. In fact, if it's with my family, that's the only way you'll survive through it, was lots of wine. Anita says, our town had the holiday kickoff this weekend called Winter Gathering. All the shops are decked out for Christmas, so I worked in my friend's studio to help out. And Chuck says, besides turkey, are there family favorite side dishes? Gingerbread kit, oh me, oh my, order one online. Well, I don't know. I haven't decided what the menu's going to be besides turkey, but probably very traditional. Probably turkey. I might do scalloped potatoes. I'll probably do some vegetables of some sort.
Probably do dressing.
Yeah, oh yeah, there'll be stuffing, dressing, whatever you call it.
We won't actually stuff the turkey. We'll just make the dressing.
We'll make it outside of that. I could make my mother make it.
No, she probably won't make it.
No, well, she'll probably offer, but she'll be glad that I didn't make her do it. And turnip. Turnip or squash?
I like turnip.
I love turnip and squash.
I never liked it.
I never liked it as a kid.
Actually, I don't mind it the way you make it. I never liked it the way my mother made it.
What, boil the shit out of it?
Well, my mother put milk all over it. It was kind of gross.
That's the way my grandmother used to make it too, and it was like, ooh,
porridge. And the way you make it, it's okay, but it's still not my favorite.
Well, I bake it. I take it and I cube it, the turnip, and you can do the same thing with the squash. I love squash too. I cube it, and then I mix it with some brown sugar, something wet. If you've got orange juice, that works a lot, but you just use water, and a little cinnamon, a little cloves, some pepper, a little salt, and that, stir it around, get it all marinated in that, throw it in and roast it. And it turns out quite nice with that. Let's see. Linda says, you have the maker. How do you like it? Yes, I have the maker, and I absolutely love it. Today, I cut my material with it, and it does a beautiful job. With that rotary blade, works really well. In fact, I've got to go out, though, and I have to get either a replacement blade for my rotary cutter or a new rotary cutter, because I tried to use it today to cut the large...
You mean your hand one?
Yeah, my hand one. Not the one in the Cricut Maker. But, I mean, the Cricut Maker can only handle a piece of material at the most that's 12 inches wide by 24 inches long, if you've got the long mats. So it's kind of like only for smaller projects. If you're trying to cut down a big piece of material, you need to either do it with your scissors or use your cutting mat and a rotary blade, a handheld rotary blade. Mine, it must be dull. It just wouldn't cut anything properly. And I saw that on something I was watching the other night. They say, yeah, they go dull very quickly, always have extra blades around with it. So on Tuesday when I do some shopping, I'll go and maybe look at that, see if I can get mine's a Fiskars, so I can probably get a replacement blade for it, probably at Michael's or something. Yeah, but the maker, worth the money. Don't buy anything else. The maker is it. And I mean, this is my third Cricut machine and loving it.
Doesn't it cut faster too than...
yeah, it does. Yeah. It cuts faster than the other one and has 10 times more pressure. So when they come out in December with the knife blade, that's the thing I'm really looking forward to, because then you can cut chipboard up to 2.5 millimeters thick. So that's going to be revolutionary right there. Anita says, good luck on the gingerbread house. Yeah, I'll show it to you. It may be a gingerbread slum. I don't know when I'm done. Chuck wants to know what you're snacking on. Chips, perhaps? Yes, yeah, but there's Special K.
Special K.
Kellogg's Special K chips. They have less fat. They're baked, whatever. These are the cheddar cheese ones. They're not bad. I'm not a big fan of chips. Like I like a few. He's a chip slut.
I love chips.
That's why I don't keep them in the house. Any chance of you showing us the napkins? Yes and no. I am not going to show them to you today. They will be part of my vlog tomorrow. So you'll have to catch the vlog. But the vlog is not live. So you'll be able to catch the vlog anytime you want. But yes, I will show you that. I have a lot of things to show you tomorrow. Chuck says, bravo, Stephen. Napkins, failures and successes. Yep, I'm all about napkins. I just looked at napkins. 4 for $18. Actually, that's a really good price, Anita.
Actually, it's not really that cheap when you make them.
No, it's not. Because, I mean, okay, I went through a meter of material. $22 a meter. Made 10 cocktail napkins.
It was, mind you, it was $22 minus 40%, right?
Yeah. Well, actually, I bought a meter and a half. But I probably still have half a meter left. But anyways, Chuck says, last year in Florida, it was 85 degrees Fahrenheit. Oh, shut up, Chuck. We don't want to hear about that. We just had our first frost on Thursday, Anita says. All the leaves dropped on Friday. And what does turnip taste like? Anita says.
Turnip?
Rutabaga.
Rutabaga is called rutabaga in the United States. I'm not sure what it's called in England.
Yeah, in the States, it's called a rutabaga. So turnip, well, it's really hard to describe what it tastes like.
There's some things that have different names here. Like we have eggplant, and in Britain it's called aubergine, I think.
Yeah, it sounds more elegant.
Yeah, but we call it turnip. U.S. calls it rutabaga, so same thing.
And so I really can't describe what turnip tastes like. Turnip just tastes like turnip. It's turnip. I don't know. It's it can be a little bit bitter. Yeah, it can be. You either love it or you hate it.
It's sort of a yellowy color.
Yeah, orange and yellow.
And it's a root vegetable, right?
Yeah, big, but it's a
big round ball that kind of reddish yellow on the outside.
They're a bitch to cut up.
They're hard as a rock.
And they're usually waxed.
Actually, the only time I really liked them when I was a kid, my mother would make it and I'd hate them. But what she used to do is I used to like them raw. So what she did is she cut me off a big slice of it raw, and I would eat it raw.
Yeah, you always were a weird kid.
So then I could avoid eating it at dinner.
Well, they usually too. They usually have a wax over top of them. That's how they preserve them, because they're a root vegetable, and they'll keep all winter long. But in this day and age, we don't have. If you grew them yourself back in the day, you would have had a root cellar or a cold cellar.
Yeah, cold cellar.
And you'd keep them in that, or you'd bury them in like loose topsoil in a bin, or cover them with straw or something like that to preserve them. That's the old farmer way to do it. Today, they come waxed. So you got to peel them, and they're slippery as heck. And then you got to try and cut them, and they're as hard as a rock.
Even if you have a sharp knife, they're really hard.
Yeah, yeah. So they're a lot of work. Maybe that's why. I think you can buy them frozen and cubed already.
You can buy them fresh cubed already.
Can you?
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. Oh, well, shit, that's what I'm doing. I'm not going to cut that bastard up. I'm just going to go out and get the one in the bag. Yep, that'll do. Nobody knows. Who cares?
It's just more expensive.
I'm just seeing what everybody's got here. Susie Q's here. Hi, Susie. Dorothy says, thumbs up, guys. How about using parsnips instead? A milder flavor?
We've had parsnips before, but I haven't had some in a long time. Parsnips are not a big...
Well, no, it
depends.
My grandmother used to have parsnips.
Yeah, but we haven't cooked them in a long time.
Don't. Well, I don't mind parsnips, but I like parsnips mixed with carrots. Because parsnips tend to be a little on the bitter side, I find. But they're very much like they look like a white carrot.
Yeah, basically.
But they don't taste like a carrot.
I never think to get them.
Brussels sprouts, Chuck says. Oh, I love Brussels sprouts.
He likes Brussels sprouts. I'm not a big fan.
I love them. They look like little brains.
I mean, I'll eat them, but I'm not a big fan.
So anyways, I'm getting hungry now. So.
Of course. If I really think about it, I'm not a big fan of any vegetable.
No. Well, you know what the hardest part is about eating a vegetable?
Digesting the wheelchair.
That's right. But I'm bumping. Okay, we're here all week, folks. Try the veal.
I'm never big on beans because my mother cooked them so often that.
What's the only vegetable your father liked? Was
basically My dad was a real picky eater, so
Hmm.
my mom never really quite knew what to make. So
You see, we're having this on Sunday afternoon. So on Sunday afternoon, we're talking about food.
oh yeah,
If this was Friday night, we'd be talking about champagne.
well,
And if
we'd
it was
still be
Saturday,
talking about food.
yeah, probably, but whatever. Okay, well, okay, the thing came up about
We're only talking about food because I'm started cooking a roast.
Yeah, well, that'll be done by tomorrow.
Yeah. Well.
So, what was I going on to here? About the Cricut Maker. Okay, that just reminded me. I don't know if any of you get in on the Cricut Mystery Boxes, but they had a early Black Friday Cricut Mystery Box. And if you don't know what the Cricut Mystery Box is, it's simply Cricut comes out every month with a bunch of stuff that they're probably overstocked with, but they give it to you at a ridiculously low price. It's always a very good value. And usually there's people like Ken's Creations, Melody Lane, Carol's Cricut, whatever she calls that, Carol's Cricut Creations or something like that. All these ones who will do a reveal when it comes out, immediately as it comes out, because they get it in advance. I guess they have some deal with Cricut. And they'll show you what's in it. Well, I always watch those, and I've ordered them before. But I don't always get every one of them because sometimes there's stuff in it I'm really it'd be a duplicate or I'm not that interested in. But this one I could see Melly Lane put up a teaser and she just showed the box. And I guess she was sworn to secrecy. She couldn't open until the next day or something, like at 11 o'clock at night or something, whatever the release date was for it time. And but it was a big box and I knew, okay, they've got mats. This time they've got mats. And the price on these mystery boxes is so good, especially if you're getting mats.
What do you pay?
So the mystery box this month has, I think, 6 mats in it. A couple of the long ones, and then a variety pack of 3 of the smaller ones, but the strong grip, middle grip, light grip, all that kind of stuff. Those mats, if I was to go to Michael's here in Canada and buy each of those mats separately, it would probably cost me, well, depending on the mat, they range in price from $9.99 or $10.99 for the small one, a single one, up to, for the large ones, up to about $22. So for those ones, it would probably cost me $80 for that number of mats. They had the mats, they had vinyl, a lot of vinyl, and in different colors and things in there. They had some replacement blades for their little cutter, the Cricut one. I don't have a Cricut cutter anyways. But that, and they had, and this is what caused the problem. They had something called the Cricut Cutie. This is a little doll, little miniature thing. It's the little Cricut bug, their logo guy. And everybody was going nuts to get one of these because they don't sell them separately. This was part of the special with the mystery box. So all of that together, they said was a value of $165, I think, $159, $165 American for $39.99 American. Now, even better, if you used one of the codes from one of the people that are associated with Cricut, like Ken's Creations, you put in KK15, you get 15% off that price and free shipping. They didn't used to give you free shipping to Canada. They do now. And if you're a Cricut Access member, you get another 10%. And I just recently became a Cricut Access member. So I got 25% off of that. So all told, in Canadian dollars, $42. And it's coming Monday. It's always fast. Plus, you get the Cricut Cutie. They come in 4 colors apparently, but you don't know what color you're going to get. But because everybody wanted that Cricut Cutie, I could care less if I had the Cricut Cutie, but they crashed the website. It would freeze up. It took me a couple of hours before I could get my orders through on that, but they just went nuts. And it was all because of that little stupid Cricut Cutie. Okay. Oh, it's so cute. I got a Cricut Cutie. Yeah, off with its head. But anyways, if you've never done the mystery box with Cricut, check out Ken's Creations, Melody Lane, those ones, when they do the reveal. And yeah, it's a good value. Even if you live in Canada, even the exchange rate is still a really good value. Okay, what are people saying here? Chuck says, how about steamed cauliflower? Then blend it with olive oil, salt, and pepper. Happy taste buds. Yep, that sounds good.
Yeah, I always like making a cheese sauce for cauliflower.
B is here, and B says, in the UK we have turnips, Swede, Swede. Is that how you say that? And parsnips, and of course, oh, what's this? Mango wurzels. Mangelwurzels, which we feed to the dark animals. Hello, Harry Potter and strange beasts. Okay, you people in the UK, I mean, you're kind of our cousins. We are sort of all related, but you still have things I've never heard about before. So I don't know what a Mangelwurzels. I'm not even saying that right, I'm sure. B says, should say farm animals. Okay, not dark animals. Okay, there's a difference. I was thinking you're into devil worship or something at that point.
We don't have any farm animals.
No. And Susie Q wants to know, what is a Mangelwurzel? Yeah, me too. I want to know too. Linda says, I didn't get that mystery box. It was crazy trying to order apparently. Yep, it was, and I was just telling you about that. Chuck says, buy stock in Cricut. Yeah, I think so. So anyways, that was lots of fun.
No, actually, buy stock in marijuana.
Yeah, well, we do have stock in marijuana. Enough said. Now, what I mean by that is, because it's going to be legalized here in Canada in less than a year, we bought stock in a company called Canopy Growth, which supplies medical marijuana and other things. And we figured, well, it has gone up. We paid.
Well, I paid $2 a share, and now it's $20 a share.
Yeah, no, I paid $2.71 a share, and now it's over $20 a share. So, of course, I don't have that many shares of it. So.
Neither do I, because I'm always afraid I'm going to lose money.
Yeah, so we're not very good investors, but we don't take risks too much. So what's else on here? Okay, talked about Christmas. Our Australia trip plan so far. Well, I think it was last week someone recommended the trolley in Melbourne where you have dinner on it.
I still haven't booked it. Okay.
Oh yeah, you got to book that. So Walter's looked into it, and it sounds kind of good. It's not cheap, but it's not expensive either. Like there's 2 sittings, and we would go on the later sitting. It has a 5-course dinner, and it includes your drinks. I guess it's $130 a person. So
yeah, and our dollar is pretty much the same as the Aussie dollar. So
yeah. So bye, Chuck. They're going out for dinner. Oh, nice. So we've got to put in a reservation for that, and then we're trying to do this thing with penguins. What is it we're trying to do with the penguins?
I go see the I forget what it's called. It's Phillip Island off of Melbourne, which is I guess the penguins come in at night to get onto the beach. I don't know. Every night. They call it penguin walk or penguin store. I don't know. I can't remember what. But anyway, so I booked that, and it's I did it through Viator because it was a good price, and we booked things through them before, but we have to wait for confirmation from the supplier. So and it might take a while. So I just left it there. Oh, Penguin Parade. That's what they call it. Anyway, so, well, I'll see how long it takes to get it confirmed. If it takes too long to get it confirmed, I'll look for something else. But then we also booked a tour in Perth to go to what they call the Pinnacles, which is a rock formation. And they also take you to these big sand dunes and all this other stuff. So we're going to do that. And then in Adelaide, we booked a day trip to Kangaroo Island. So
there are kangaroos there.
I think there are actually kangaroos there, but they tend to have more seals. And
the seals are cute.
Seals and these special rock formations, and so it'll be kind of scenic for a day. I can't really see spending a whole long time on the island. They have trips where you can spend a week. But
no,
we're not real nature people.
No.
We're more like city people. So
yes, I like the concrete jungle.
So a day to do the whirlwind tour of Kangaroo Island would be okay. So that's what we're doing.
Yeah, that'll be fun. So, yeah, well, worst case scenario with the penguins, if we don't see them, it's not like we've never seen penguins before.
Yeah, I know. So,
And, you know, like if you can't go up and go coochie, coochie, coochie under the little chins like you would the kangaroos, that was so much fun when we got to do that with the kangaroos. That was the highlight for me of our last trip to Australia. That was Tasmania, the kangaroo reserve. Actually, there's a video on my channel somewhere that I put up last year, and where I'm feeding and petting the kangaroos. Came right up to you. That was cute. They are cute. So what we got here for comments? B says, Manjal wurzels, I don't know how you say that, are best. Look up on Google. They are a root vegetable. Sorry, I have trouble posting comments. I have to do it on my phone. And Anita says, I loved your London streams. Oh, okay, thanks, Anita.
We'll have to look at that.
Yeah, we'll look it up. Because I wonder what they're, I wonder if we have something that's equivalent to that.
Probably.
But I wonder what we call it. But anyways, so, yep. So that's Australia, still working on that. My war cry now is, oh, when are we going to Australia? So, speaking of food again, Walter made samosas on the weekend. Now,
Well, usually I've made, the only time I've ever made them before, I used egg roll wrappers. Well, this time I made them right from scratch with dough, and it was a bitch to roll out. Anyway.
You know, samosas are an Indian food. They're little pockets with usually potato and vegetables. Sometimes they have some meat in it, like ground hamburger or chicken or something like that. And it's an Indian food. We love Indian food. So he made them. Actually, they were quite good.
Actually, they turned out okay.
Yeah, they were all right. How many did you get out of that?
I only got about 20 of them out of it.
Oh, is that it?
But didn't quite figure out, I had a little bit of trouble folding them up. So, and I've looked on YouTube and I don't think I was doing it quite right. So,
oh, jeez.
So, but anyway, but they still turned out okay. So I just have various sizes.
They're quite good.
I was very uniform with them, but like anything, you make it once, you make it a few times, and then you get the hang of it.
Well, the last time we were in London too, we had Indian in a couple of times. Because actually, the Indian food that we've had in London before has always been good.
Yeah.
With it as well. So, and even if you get it in the pubs too, you know, they usually have in the pubs a curry. And I love curry.
Well, the pub we go to here has.
Yeah, they have good curry as well. But yeah, I love Indian food. Well, we make it sometimes too.
Yeah.
Well, I kind of cheat.
Bottled sauces.
I get bottled sauce.
Don't mind, yeah.
But actually, they're quite tasty with it. Suzie Q says, Mangelwurzels, whatever that stuff is, a type of beet with a large root. Ooh, beets! There's only one vegetable on the face of this planet that I cannot stand, and it's beets. And there's a reason for that.
I love beets.
Oh, yeah, he loves them, but we
I don't like them cold, though.
Oh, actually, a pickled beet I don't mind, but hot beets, they're called Harvard beets here. They come in a can. They're in a brine.
I love them.
You cook them.
I never eat them, though.
They're gross.
You won't eat them.
My mother loved them, and she'd serve those suckers on a fairly regular basis at home. And she'd always serve them when she had mashed potatoes. And she would make me eat these damn things. And what she'd do is she goes, beets. And she'd take a big spoonful of them and throw them on my plate right next to my mashed potatoes. And they bled into my mashed potatoes. And it ruined the mashed potatoes.
My parents always mushed them up with their potatoes.
Yeah, well, the Dutch mush everything up into their potatoes. Jeez, it looks like a dog's breakfast when the Dutch people are eating, because they take everything they...
What difference does it make? It all ends up the same in your stomach.
Oh, you sound like my dad used to say that, too. Because, see, I had this thing when I was a kid. I didn't like any of my food touching. It doesn't bother me now. I'm over it, except for beets. Don't ever let beets. Beets will never touch my plate.
Yeah, so I don't cook beets. So
that's right. You don't cook beets. You can have beets. Just keep them away from anything I'm eating.
It's too much.
What?
It's too difficult to, not too difficult. I don't really want to.
You open a can.
I don't really want to just cook them for myself. So.
Oh, fine. Well, whatever.
Maybe I'll make some.
Go ahead. Wait till I go away for a long time. And yeah. That won't happen.
I've done that before.
What, gone away for a long time?
No, when you went away on the odd time that you'd go away, I'd get a can of beets.
Good for you, and probably a little liver too, right? Ooh,
No,
liver.
kind of off liver.
Velvet steak, not. Ooh.
I don't like cooking liver.
I think those are the only. There's only 3 foods that I absolutely hate: liver, beets, and fish. So, if you want to see me die, serve me those 3 on one plate. Yeah, but that's because it's all battered and whatnot. And actually, when we were in England, I did try the fish and chips that they make from cod, because usually I'm a real stickler. I want it to be halibut, but apparently halibut isn't.
It's more of a Canadian
thing. That it's cod over in England, I guess, and maybe haddock. Well, I tried the cod, and actually, it was very good. I didn't mind that at all.
He doesn't like it if it tastes fishy.
I don't like if it tastes fishy.
And I am not a big fish fan because my mother used to cook fish all the time, and I used to hate the smell of it when I was a kid. And I will tolerate fish a little better than he will, but it's something I generally do not order in a restaurant, because if it tastes too fishy, it turns me right off. And the few times that I have ordered it in a restaurant, I get an urge for something, then I quickly change my mind and think, oh, that was a waste of money.
Yeah, well, you see, with fish,
restaurant food, I don't like to order. If it's at home and you make it and it doesn't turn out well, that's one thing. But if you order something in a restaurant, you pay a lot of money for it, and it's lousy, or it's something that you like, I always feel it's a ripoff. Yeah. So,
well, Anita says she loves pickled beets, and she says, but she doesn't like to mix her food still. And B says she hates liver, but haddock is good without the batter, she says. I tried. We went on a stage way back years ago. Well, actually,
that was when the doctor told you you had a cholesterol problem, and so he suggested you eat fish. We tried fish, every which way, and it just.
We tried different kinds.
It's not even you got a mild fish, even if it wasn't fishy. It's the texture. It's just.
Nope, can't love it. My parents love fish, so my mother would serve fish once a week. Yeah, that was. And if she really wanted to piss me off, she'd serve fish and beets with mashed potatoes and let everything touch. I mean, it's a wonder I wasn't in therapy, is all I can say. Thanks a lot. Well, I'm picking her home now, so whatever on that one. And Anita also says I can't do liver or fish either. Yeah, and you want to know something? I wish I did like fish or seafood. I don't.
I mean, you like crab and you like lobster.
Well, I like lobster. I like shrimp and crab, but it
has to be the real crab.
And and they can't taste fishy.
Yeah,
they have to be very fresh with it. If there's any fishiness about them,
like I've bought frozen shrimp before, and that's usually okay.
Yeah.
But then once in a while you get a batch and they taste a little bit fishy. Yeah. Even I don't like that either.
Oh, and if you want to see me turn green, show me an oyster.
I've never had them, and I don't really want them.
Okay, I don't know how many people would know what these are. They're called quahogs. Quahogs are a shelled piece of seafood. They look like clams, I guess. And they're very popular in the East Coast of Canada at certain times of the year. Well, I had friends when I was a kid that came from the East Coast of Canada, and they used to get these all shipped up to them to Ontario from New Brunswick. And so they gave me one once. And now they knew I hated seafood and that kind of stuff. I said, no, try this, try this. So they opened up the shell, and I kind of slurped it out. It was very salty at first. And they went, and it just sort of slid down my throat. And they went, you did chew that first, didn't you? Because it's still alive. And I guess they still talk about it this day, 50 years later, how green I went.
Well, I think I would do the same thing.
What's that?
I think I would do the same thing.
Yeah. But
they do not appeal to me.
No. But I've often, my father loved smoked oysters. The ones you get in the can, they're covered in the oil. The cat we had when I was a kid too loved them as well. The cat would do backflips like those Temptation commercials.
I've had them. They're not.
Oh, they're gross.
Really care for them.
They're gross. They're rubbery. They're like this slimy mucus membrane with smoking a whole pack of cigarettes before you put it in your mouth.
Somebody let me taste mussel before too, and it tastes okay, but I don't think I'd order it.
Oh,
so I've had scallops. I don't mind scallops. And
Too fishy.
yeah, he won't have scallops.
No, too fishy.
I will eat scallops.
They look delicious, and apparently on that show that Ramsay does, Hell's Kitchen
Yeah,
or
I
whatever.
don't like them when they're really rubbery though.
Well, no one seems
not
to be able to
supposed to
cook them
be.
for him the way they're supposed to be cooked, so I'm not sure how they're supposed to be cooked, but I don't like them anyway. So, Anita says, I used to love shrimp, but got food poisoning once, and that did it in for any and all fish. Yeah, I could see that being a problem. Oh, and sushi? Oh, God, no. And you know what pisses me off about that is every other street corner now in this country has someplace where you can get sushi. I'm not Japanese. I'm Canadian. I don't want to eat raw fish.
Like actually, one of the women I worked with, Amy, she was Taiwanese, and she would make her own sushi. But then she'd make something called, I think they're called California rolls or something like this, and they don't actually have fish in them. They just have the seaweed, they have the rice, and then they have like a little vegetable in the middle. So she gave me one of those, and she goes, "There's no fish in it. There's no fish in it." So I ate half of it. And I said, "How come it tastes fishy if there's no fish in it?" She goes, "Oh, I put fish powder in it," which sounds absolutely disgusting.
And seaweed or kelp.
The seaweed wrap, no thanks. I don't like the texture.
Let's just think about seaweed for a minute. It comes out of the sea. What's 10 ounces in the sea? Sea life, fish. Where do fish go to the bathroom? In the sea. What does seaweed do? It catches their crap. What are you eating? You're eating fish shit on a green leaf. Ugh. Yuck.
Anyway, that kind of turned me off too. So I said no. And then Luba, one of the women I worked with, sucked me into one day when we were in Toronto for a course. She got me to go to one of these sushi places, but actually I had something other than sushi. So, but it still was.
Yuck. Yeah, well, no.
It was still there's stuff in it that I didn't really.
Well, I had something once.
The bento box.
Yeah, which actually, at the first, when I first had it, there wasn't any fish in it. It had a California roll and stuff like that. I didn't mind it, but as I got working my way through it, I was starting to get a little green. I
don't really care for, even if it's California roll or anything, even if it doesn't taste fishy. I don't like the texture. And I don't like the fact that it's cold.
And B says, my grandfather used to eat oysters in the late Victorian era. They were very popular and cheap then. Love lobster, but it's too expensive. Seaweed is called lava bread in Wok and popular to eat. I'm not sure. I think maybe spell checker kicked in on that one too, in Wok, whatever that is, but popular to eat. Yeah, well, these same.
Is that Wok, W-O-K?
No, W-A-L-K-E-D.
Yeah, I think that's probably spell checker.
Oh, bread and Wok. Yeah. Okay, but these same people that made me eat the raw quahog thing, the slimy little mucous membrane on the half shell, they also made me eat seaweed once. Kelp. They called it kelp, and it's disgusting. It's chewy and salty and no. Don't like it. And sushi is wrapped in seaweed sometimes. I don't know. Whatever. So here we are. This must be, we should have this our culinary show. So, and anyways, but before we move on to the next thing I have on my list here, I just want to talk about, speaking of food, we were watching it last night. And I have another YouTube channel I'm going to tell you about that has nothing to do with arts and crafts and stuff like that. But this one is called Man About Cake. And there's this guy, and he makes these really nice, elaborate cakes. It's fascinating to watch him make them. And you'll put on 10 pounds just watching the YouTube video because he uses chocolate ganache and buttercream, and ooh, it looks so good. But check it out. It's Man About Cake. It's very interesting. It's really quite an art, what he does with cake. Let's see. Oh, called lava bread in, she meant Wales, not Wok, in popular to eat. See, it was called lava bread in Wales. Oh, okay. And Anita says, oysters can cause very serious illness, but forgot the name. Yeah, it's called death. I think
I think there's a lot of
mercury poisoning, isn't there? Or is
well,
that?
no,
Is that
yeah, I think there's actually
or no, E. coli.
zebra mussels sometimes have E. coli and that, and
But nobody eats zebra mussels.
or not zebra mussels. I
Yeah.
call them zebra. I don't know. I don't know what I'm talking about. Mussels. There's been outbreaks of E. coli. E. coli.
Poor Anita is having fun with her spell checker on her phone. She's driving her
But
mad.
you can get E. coli from all kinds of things, like uncooked meat. Like Americans, a lot of times when you order a hamburger, get a medium, and in Canada they have to cook them well done. And we had one when we were in England, and I don't know if they thought we were American or what, but they gave us hamburgers
and it was
that
pink.
were pretty raw inside.
Yeah.
And we don't like them raw. I like them well cooked all the way through.
We sent those ones back, didn't we?
Yeah, we did. We sent
we did send back
and had them recook it.
Yeah. Well, speaking of sending back food, we went to a little brekkie place on yesterday, for lunch, and we'd been there before. It's one of those, those
Breakfast
chain
places.
breakfast places, Egg Smart or something. If you have those in the States or in England, I don't know, but the kind of place that specializes in brekkie. And we thought this time though we were there around lunchtime, so their club sandwich looked good, and I like club sandwich. So we both ordered. You could get a half a club sandwich with their signature soup of the day. They call it the signature soup of the day. And so we both ordered that. And
well, it was canned signature soup.
Yeah, well, okay. So I'm building up to this.
Yeah.
So anyways, I could see their kitchen area and where they put the food up on the rack for the waitress to come and take it out. Well, I see them put the 2 club sandwiches up there on the plate, and then 1 bowl of soup goes on the plate. And then it sat there for 5 minutes. They're waiting for the other bowl of soup. And I'm thinking, what are you doing? And their signature soup of the day, which apparently is every day is the same, is chicken noodle. Okay, how can you say Lipton's? Whatever. So I'm watching this up there and I'm thinking, my sandwich is kind of, because it's toasted, it's probably getting a little soggy up there, but whatever. So, and we also ordered an order of fries. And for those of you in England, chips, to split. So she comes over finally with our sandwich and our soup, and then she brings over 1 little tiny dish of chips. And she says, don't worry, she says, that's not a full order. She says, they're cooking up some new ones because we ran out. You ran out of French fries. French fries in North America are a staple.
Well, the problem is this place is like a breakfast place, right? So it seemed like most people were eating still breakfast at noon, right? And they serve breakfast all day. I think that's what they do best, right? But anyway, so we get the sandwich, and their sandwich are stuck to the plate.
Yeah. Yeah, well, that's the thing. It sat under not even a heat lamp, just up on top of this rack. And the mayonnaise they had put on it, they put it on the bottom part, and it soaked through the toasted bread, and I literally had to take a fork and pry my sandwich off the plate. Plus the soup was
Canned soup.
Canned soup. Like, big deal. Signature soup, my butt. And it took her forever to bring out the rest of the fries. By the time she brought out the rest of the fries that we had were stone cold. Not her fault. It was the fault of the people in the kitchen. And I was watching them. I could see the kitchen. The kitchen's sort of, not an open concept, but you could see into it from where we were sitting. And I'm kind of watching them in there. And quite frankly, none of them were the sharpest tool in the shed, really, with this. So the manager came over and says, so how was everything? Because I think the waitress said to him, I got a couple of customers, I don't think they're really happy. I mean, I hadn't said anything to her. It wasn't her fault. I wasn't really complaining to anybody, but I said, well, as a matter of fact, I said, no, I'm a little disappointed. And I told him why. I had to pry my sandwich off the plate. We get
half an order. Say to her, she said when she brought the other fries out, she said, first of all, I figured that they gave us a few fries. They were stone cold. I figured that they'd just bring out a big plate of flat fries, fresh fries, you know, and, forget about that. No, they gave us another half order of fries. They were hot, but the other ones were stone cold. And the waitress says, oh, so you got warm fries and hot fries. And Steve said, No, we've got cold fries and hot fries.
Yeah.
Right? And
So that's probably why she went to the
yeah.
manager to let him know that it sounded like I've got some unhappy customers. Anyways, he came over. He apologized for everything. I said to him, look, I said, we've been here before and we like it well enough, but we've never had your lunch items. We've always had the breakfast items and they've always been fine. So, you know, I don't think that I'm probably going to do lunch here again or whatever. But anyways, what he did was, and this was really nice of him, I wasn't bitching to get anything for nothing. Okay, that wasn't my method. But, you know, I get to the point now where I figure people come up and go, how's everything tasting? Oh, that drives me nuts. That's the new phrase that all the wait staff has now. They come after you've had your food for about one bite into it. How's everything tasting? I don't know.
I feel like saying the quality is shitty, but it tastes okay.
Yeah, or whatever. Yeah, but I thought, well, okay, I'm going to be honest, because if you're not, tell them. You know, like, if they're really serious about their business, then they'll want to know, you know, so they can improve. So I told him, and he said he was so sorry about that and the whole bit. And he took off. Well, he took off half on the bill.
Yeah.
So he reduced our bill by 50%.
Plus he gave you a 25%.
Plus he gave us a 25% off on our next visit coupon. Well, that is good PR because, you know, I may tell people about this and say it, but I will turn around and say, but they tried to make up for that and did this. So I will go back. I will go back because they're definitely trying to make an effort. So some places, they just look at it and go, yeah, whatever, poo-poo. So that would be the end of that. So anyways, where was that all leading to?
Anyway.
Okay, time out. Okay, let's move on to sex. Okay, and I don't mean ours. I'm talking about, oh, nice face. Jeez. What's been really annoying in the last week, 2 weeks, is all this scandal out of Hollywood where, what's his name? Harvey Weinstein?
Weinstein,
whatever. And then Kevin Spacey, all, you know, doing things.
And all the others, now a comedian, I can't remember, C.K. Lewis or something.
Yeah, C.K. Lewis. Or Louis C.K.
Or something, yeah.
How is it? I don't know. You know what gets my goat is I don't care. Why is this being the top story? It must be slow weeks for news because this is the top story on the news stations here in Canada about all these scandals in Hollywood. They've always been doing that. Yes, I don't think they should be doing it. I don't think that they should be pushing themselves upon young actresses or actors.
Using their influence or stuff like that. But it's happened in the world for years and years and years. And
it doesn't make it right.
What annoys me is that people are coming up where this has happened 30 years ago. And it wasn't necessarily an actual, maybe, I don't know the circumstances, but it seems to me that some of them were just advance or something like that.
They're trying to get their name out there. Like the one guy.
Like, I mean, there's ones that are probably truly legitimate complaints, right? And then there's ones that it almost seems like they're trying to get their name in the public. Just to yes, it
well, there's no such thing as bad PR.
Yeah.
So, but that one guy that was 14 years old that Kevin Spacey supposedly got up on top of.
I don't doubt that Kevin Spacey's a complete pervert. But
what I've got to get, I like Kevin Spacey's as an actor. Watch House of Cards, seen him in many movies. I really like Kevin Spacey. I could see though how he can be a dick. I mean, out of it all. But then he's on. Now, when I first heard this,
when we first heard the first story about Anthony Rapp, I think his name's Anthony Rapp.
Anthony Rapp, yeah.
Anyway, what annoyed me about that first one was that it happened to him when he was 14. But what it was he was alone in Kevin Spacey's apartment at 14 at midnight. Where were his parents?
Yeah.
Where were his parents? Why was a 14-year-old boy allowed in a strange man's apartment?
Yeah.
That annoyed me. But anyway, but that's besides the point, and that's all. Like, I mean, then there's all the other stuff that came out, and yeah, basically it's pervert.
Well, what annoys me about the thing with Kevin Spacey is that Kevin Spacey then decided, and everybody already knew, and if you didn't know, you must not know who Kevin Spacey is. Yes, he's gay. That has not been any deep, dark secret. No, he has not officially come out and said, hello, I'm gay, and all this stuff until now. But he comes out on the heels of this. And then the LGBT community all got up in arms because they're saying, and at first I didn't understand this, but now I do understand it.
Yeah.
He comes out on this and it says, okay, now we're associating someone who's a potential pedophile with the gay community. And we have fought that link for a long, long time because gay men are not pedophiles any more so than a straight man is a pedophile. I mean, it's a sickness.
I mean, there's people that are straight that are pedophiles, and I'm sure there's gay people that are pedophiles.
Yeah,
I'm not, but like there's in all of society. But he's sort of associating himself being a pedophile with being gay, so which is really annoying.
A better term for him would be pervert.
Pervert.
Out of it, and he can't keep it in his pants. I mean, really, grow up. At your age, you should know better out of it all. However, I'm sick and tired of hearing about all this crap.
Too.
Like, there's better news out there. And someone in here said, I think it was, it's Anita. She says, oh, Lord, here in the States, we have so much going on, I can't even watch news anymore. And Dorothy says, I agree, Walter. And Anita says, we have a man running for office in Alabama who's even worse. Well, it is Alabama. And Dorothy says, you're absolutely right, Stephen. You know, the thing is this. In the gay world, we have fought long and hard to do what we're doing right now. Right now, not making any excuses for the fact that we happen to be gay men and we have a YouTube channel. I'm not on a soapbox trying to convert the world over to being gay or anything like that. It doesn't matter. We're just people like everybody else. But we fought long and hard to get here with it. Then, you want to put us back a decade? Get somebody like Spacey, who's been doing whatever he's doing just because he's a sexual, and I would call him a sexual deviant, okay? A predator. He's a sexual predator. That is different, okay? It's still not good, but he's a sexual predator because apparently he has groped somebody. Now, of course, you got to take everything with a grain of salt that comes through the media. You know, I don't know, Trump says fake news. Well, let's call it embellished news. You know, if it bleeds, it leads.
Enhanced news so that it makes
it makes money.
I mean, it's just like when we get a snowstorm here.
It's
sometimes it's the
storm of the century.
We've had a lot of that. Actually, this week when it was when we had the storm supposedly.
Hi, Shelley.
Supposedly that we had this week. It was a Thursday night, and they made on the news that it was going to be this roads were going to be really bad, blah blah blah, and all sorts of stuff. I went to the gym that night; it was empty. Nobody was on the roads. Nobody was in the stores because the news had sensationalized. That's where it sensationalized it so much that it made a lot of people scared to go out.
Yeah,
at night. And the roads were fine. I was out till about 10 o'clock that night, and it was fine.
Well, just this whole thing with Spacey, with Weinstein, whatever, and there's been other ones.
And I'm sure there's more going to be come out.
And it's all coming out. Yeah, I don't think it's
right. One thing that I think a lot of things that people are complaining about is these people have power, like politicians. The perceived power anyway. I never ever thought actors really had power over me anyway, but you know, famous people like actors, they're just people.
They're just actors. They do not solve world hunger. They do not change the price of rice in China. They do not bring about world peace. They are actors there for our entertainment. They are not gods. In fact, most of them are not even sensational individuals who have done anything on this planet that has made the planet progress.
The only thing is you know their name because you see them in movies.
Yes, but
right?
I'm not.
But I mean,
I'm not a fan. So
you don't know who necessarily the president of a huge corporation like 3M. Does anybody know who the president of 3M is?
Yeah.
You know, or some other corporation? Yeah, they're probably more affluent than any of these actors are.
And Anita says, yes, I understand. All these stories just make humanity look bad. They do. But you know what is worse? If we buy into them. That's what makes humanity look bad. If we are so easily sucked in, then you might as well give us all the middle name Trump. Because that's exactly what is happening with Trump.
Anyway.
What do you mean, anyway?
No. Okay, so yeah.
But whatever. But I don't know. But it's just been driving me nuts. But it's been driving.
I'm getting sick of these. Every time you turn on the TV, it's somebody else.
Well, I'm just trying to back up here for the whole point I was trying to make that you went way over there.
All right, fine.
Is the whole thing about the gay community with it. See, this puts us back in time again because those those asinine things that are in Alabama and down in the southern United States who the Bible thumping, you know, conversion therapist kind of ones there. This just works into their case. Oh, all gays are pedophiles. All gays are deviants and all this stuff. Most deviant thing I've ever done in my life is got married to him. I married a deviant. I don't know. Whatever.
Anyway.
Yeah. Oh, moving right along from that one. Okay, fine. Whatever. All right. So let's move on here. What are we watching? Well, he's not, but I am.
He's watching Will and Grace, speaking of gay.
Yeah. I loved Will and Grace when it first came on the air back before, like 11 years ago when it ended. And I figured when they tried to bring it back, it was going to suck. Because, you know, you can't go backwards in time. I was wrong. It's even funnier now than it was in that time. And they do a wonderful job on it. But I love, what's her name? Deborah Messing. I love her. And the one that plays Karen.
Megan Mullally.
Yeah, and Jack.
The one Hayes.
Yeah, and Eric McCormick. I mean, they're all good. Eric McCormick, by the way, is Canadian. He comes from Scarborough. Scarborough is just half an hour away from Scarborough, as we call it Scarborough. It's just outside of Toronto. It's between us and Toronto. It's very close. But anyways, ooh, fame. Oh, wow. But it's a really good show. The only thing I've got against it sometimes is they play the stereotypes, especially with Jack, a little bit too much. And that was my little segue from the sex scandals into Will and Grace. You see how I did that? Isn't that clever?
Anyway,
yeah. Okay, fine. I guess you weren't really clever. So did we see any movies this week? Because I can't remember.
I can't remember either.
Well, that was great. And now that we have Netflix, it's like Netflix actually is very, very good. I have to say.
It's good when we don't have a lot of other stations on TV. So we have basic TV, so we don't have a lot of specialty channels. But actually, Netflix has a lot of good documentaries and stuff like that, so which is kind of interesting.
Hi, Shelley. Actually, Shelley, if you don't mind, I keep my little notes here. Where are you from, if you don't mind me asking? And Anita says, I love Will and Grace, too. And now, YouTube. I already told you about Man About Cake.
Yeah, we discovered another one last night.
Yeah, it's called Good Mythical Morning. These two guys, and well,
they're not gay.
They're not gay. Well,
I don't think.
No, they're not gay. They have families and everything like that. But they are hilarious, and their show is just very eclectic. They talk about a lot of different things. But one of the shows we watched last night, they're talking about getting vasectomies. The two of them went in together with it, and it's hilarious in a very painful way, you know, especially if you're male. But I really recommend it because it is very, very entertaining. So it's called Good Mythical Morning. So look that up. Let's see here. I'm just checking the messages. Oh, Shelley is from Minnesota. Oh, yeah, I'm from Minnesota.
I don't think we've been there.
No, we've never been to Minnesota.
We may have driven through it, but I don't know.
And Craft and Bev. Oh, Craft and Bev. I don't have you on my little list here. I know you've been on here before. I just never wrote it down. So Craft and Bev. I suppose you would like to be called Bev. And where are you from, Craft and Bev? She says, I don't have cable or satellite TV. I have Netflix, Hulu, And right now I'm trying out Sling TV. Oh,
Yeah, I'm not sure if we can get Sling.
we can't get Hulu.
We can't get Hulu.
And I know that.
We know that. In fact, our version of Netflix, Canadian version of Netflix, is different than the American version. They get American Netflix, you can get more things on it, but then we get more British programming on ours. I don't know if it's worth it to try and get American.
Yeah, no.
We can get American, but we'd have to change our VPN. So
no.
And
we get quite a bit right now, and we get a lot of British stuff too. Because I've been watching.
I know the American doesn't. It has to do with licensing. Like what's that show that we were watching? We watched Grace.
Grace. Alias Grace.
Alias Grace. Alias Grace was a CBC production, which is a Canadian TV station, and so Netflix in the U.S. is carrying it, but Netflix in Canada is not carrying it because it was a Canadian production licensed to a Canadian corporation. So, but we did watch it. We get CBC, so we did PVR it and watched it.
And Alias Grace was originally a book, and it was written by probably our best known author right now in Canada, Margaret Atwood, who's been around for centuries.
Who also did
Handmaid's Tale,
yeah.
And she's done a lot of stuff over the years. So it is it's very good. If you want to see a really great series, it's mini series, watch. It's called Alias Grace, and the book is excellent. I read it several years ago, and it is a great book. Crafton Bev says, I'm more entertained with those three services and I ever have been with any kind of cable or satellite TV because I watch almost everything out when I want to say and not pay for anything more. And she grew up, Crafton Bev says, I grew up in Los Angeles, California. She's from Boise, Idaho. We've never been there. Lived in Bakersfield, California, but I love Boise, Idaho. We'll never move from here. Okay, well, we've never been to Boise, Idaho either. Well, we're not. I'm sorry to the American people out there, but we have no plans to travel to the States anytime soon for pretty much obvious reasons.
I mean, we've been to the regular places like Florida, California, Las Vegas before, and we may have driven through your state to get to one of those places. We've been in New Orleans.
Hi, Ilona. Is that how I say
it?
Been to
New York.
Hi, Ilona.
Been to Buffalo.
Okay, every time I say hi, you cut in.
Okay.
Ilona, is it Iona? Ilona? Leona? I'm not sure how to say it because there's two consonants in a row. Llona. But anyways,
Ilona.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry if I butchered it. If you can spell it out phonetically for me. Trump is making this country worse than ever. Yes, we know. Elu. Ooh, I gotta write this down. That's how you say it, Elu. Okay. I'll write that down so I don't mispronounce your name. Elu. Okay, got it. Yeah, so what are we talking about? I got off track.
Yeah, I know. Good Mythical Morning, you were talking about that.
Yeah, good.
We were talking about Alias Grace.
Yeah, Alias Grace is television
TV
shows.
and Hulu and blah, blah, blah.
Yeah. But anyways, okay, so moving on from that, we can't remember. I thought we watched a movie this week.
We might have. I can't remember.
I don't remember what it was. So it couldn't have been that great. No. Okay, so what's pissing Walter off?
Okay, I do
have Oh my God, surprise! I figured you
started off with yesterday. What happened was I went to the grocery store.
Better not involve me.
Right. Yeah, sort of involved you. Anyway, went to the grocery store and to pick up a couple of things to make my Somozas. Anyway, so there was a lady in the grocery store, a customer, and she was looking for porridge, right? And she asked one of the people working in there, but I think it was a young student who had just started working there. And he said, oh, I'm so sorry, he says, but I just started working here and I don't know where everything is. So he says, you can try aisle 4. Well, I happen to be in aisle 4. And she came down aisle 4 and she was looking around and she says, oh my God, she says, I can't find porridge in this store. She says, I've been up and down the aisles. I can't find anything. And I said, I looked around aisle 4 and I said, well, I don't think you're going to find it here. And I looked at her and I said, maybe it's in the cereal section. I said, it's probably in the cereal section. That's usually grocery stores have it in the cereal section, right? So she must have found it. She was at checkout when I was walking around a bit more, and then I did go down the cereal section. Just I was curious if it was there, and yeah, I did sort of find it. But what they had done was they had parked a whole cartload of boxes right in front of the porridge section. So that's why she never found it. And that annoys me when I go into a store and I'm looking for something. Half the time they end up parking one of these carts right in front of whatever I need. And that happens a lot at Home Depot.
Yeah, I was just going to say at Home Depot.
Home Depot is awful for that. They'll cut off a whole row of a whole aisle just to be able to pull a box from the top shelf because they stack everything so high.
Well, they actually put a gate.
Yeah, they put a gate across. And what annoys me is half the time the gate's across and you don't see anyone in the aisle.
Yeah, they're not doing anything.
And that happens to be the aisle I need to go into. And it super annoys me. And then I don't know how Home Depot works in the United States, but Home Depot in Canada has practically nobody that you can find in the area to help you out because most of them are like missing in action.
But they have a panic button, and you can
no, that's Lowe's.
Well, they have one at.
Do they?
Yes, they do. But you can push it all you want, but nobody comes.
Yeah,
and you hear nothing.
They keep announcing at Lowe's that you hear the announcements, but still nobody shows up. But anyway, but then they'll do that, or they have these ladders and stuff to get up to a higher thing, and they'll park them in front of all the stuff, and it really annoys me. Like, if you have these ladders, park them in front of something that they don't sell stuff or something. You can't move them, and then they give you hell if you touch them, right? So that annoys me.
Yeah, well, it all comes down to customer service.
Poor customers.
Like at Walmart, you go into Walmart, and as soon as you walk in the place, can I get you a basket? Have a nice day. Welcome to Walmart. Drives me nuts.
Yeah, but if you want to look for somebody to help you out, and
there's nobody knows that. And it's like Michael's too. None of them know what the heck is on the shelves or what to do with it,
or where anything is.
I've helped people in Michael's. I see them looking at something. What the heck did I get on my? What's that? Oh well, never mind.
Ooh, that looks like blood.
No, it must be. I don't know. Well, maybe it came off this.
Oh, it came off that.
Well, it shouldn't have. That's printed. That's not. Oh well. Anyways, okay. I digress. Yeah, I'm in Michael's and I hear somebody talking about this and this, and they're looking for somebody else. And I'll walk over to them and I'll say, actually, I have that, or I know about that, and I can tell you this, and the other thing. I should get a commission because I've sold stuff at Michael's for them because nobody there knew what the heck they were talking about.
I've done in stores too, where people are looking at something and then I end up helping them out.
So back here in the messages, we've got here's some discussion about this. I have to look at Ilona. Ilona is from Art from the Heart in the UK. So do you work there? And I guess you would know then Dina Reevely. Or not Dina, Diane Reevely, then, if I'm right. I really want to go there when we were in London, but it's in Leeds, isn't it? Or close to Leeds, and apparently that would have taken us 2 or 3 hours on the train to get there for it. Anita says, in the spring I see many cars from Canada passing through Ohio on their way to Florida. Yeah, that's one of the main routes. We've done that as well, if you drive to Florida. We only did that once.
We've only driven to Florida once. That was enough.
Yeah. Or did we do it twice? Because that time we went to we flew to Key West.
Yeah.
But you may have done it because you did it years
I've done
ago.
It twice. Yeah. I did it years ago with my brother-in-law.
And Bev says, I know what you mean about Home Depot. I went there to buy a piece of sheet metal to make a magnetic board and some magnets. They had closed it off, nobody around, and they would not let me go in to get what I wanted. I try not to go there that much anymore. There's a way to get around that. And don't anybody think I'm sexist here or being misogynistic, but be blonde. Just step over the gate and go. If they get at you, go, oh, I didn't know. I couldn't see what that was for. Hey, can you help me? Yeah, whatever. Hobby Lobby is terrible to block aisles with boxes every part of the week. Well, I don't know because we have yet to be to a Hobby Lobby because
No, we went there once in
Did we
Florida.
go to the Hobby Lobby in Florida? Was that, did we hit one?
It had a lot of different things.
Yeah.
There,
And Bev says, I used to be the manager of Fabric Craft Store. We restock only at night so as to not inconvenience our customers. Yeah, well,
a lot of grocery stores here do restock at night, but
no, they don't anymore because
No, that's
now they
true.
sell shelf space. So the guy with the Coca-Cola and the Pepsi is in there, and he's got a big flatbed thingy with the big handle on it, and all these cases. And you, because they put all their aisles together so close, you can't get two carts down at the same time. And then when that's there, you're literally blocked. You can't get through. And I've noticed that with like potato chip companies too. However they do that now. So. Let's see. Anita says, yes, I help people in Hobby Lobby too. And Ilona says, yes, I help out there sometimes. Harrogate near Leeds. Okay, that's where it is. Art from the Heart is in Harrogate, which is near Leeds. And so she helps out there sometimes. Okay. And yes, Deanne's store. Yeah, I would love to go there because I love her stuff and whatnot. And I see Mike Deacon. Do you know Mike Deacon? I'm sure you do. I watch him faithfully. And yeah, I actually contacted him, but I've talked about that before, about when we were going to London, but I knew there was no chance that we'd probably be able to meet up. But you never know. Weirder things, stranger things. That's a show, isn't it? So Walter was pissed off about all of that. So, I was surprised he had a pissed off this week.
Yeah.
You're just pissed off at me. So, what's coming up? Well, you'd heard me tell you about, I'm supposed to be teaching this art journaling class at our local OAA, which stands for the Oshawa Arts Association. Oshawa is the town we live in. And so last week I went in to see if anybody signed up for, they were supposed to start, it's a series of 3 classes on Wednesdays, 3 Wednesdays in a row. Nobody had. Well, that's fine. I mean, I'm not heartbroken over it. In fact, kind of relieved in some ways about that. So I said to him, well, okay, we'll just cancel it. And, and so, well, we could move it ahead into December. And I went, no, we can't. I'm not available. Oh, and I said, and then January's dead month after Christmas, and we leave in February for Australia and be gone for about 5 weeks. So won't be back until March. And so, the earliest I could do it is probably about April again. Oh, well, there's a meeting of, I'm a member as well. I joined. It's probably the biggest waste of $40 I ever did, but whatever, I joined. And on the first Wednesday of every month, or no, second Wednesday, I don't know. Must be second Wednesday.
Sure that's not Oshawa Alcoholics.
No, it's not Oshawa Alcoholics Anonymous. No. Have a sip of wine. So now you made me lose my train of thought. Like right off the track, this thing about being 60, I've been whatever. Okay, what was I talking about? Yeah. So they said, well, what about if we reduce it to 2 classes? So we'll just start the first class, Art Journaling 101, as we were calling it, this Wednesday coming up, and then do 102. In my mind, I'm going, I really don't want to teach this, period, because I think it's going to be a pain in the ass. And this is why it's going to be a pain in the ass. They are an amateur art association, although they don't consider themselves amateurs, okay? Now, they're on a different level or plane of existence than I'm on. I am a crafter. I believe crafters are artists, but we are not fine art. In other words, we didn't go to university and study Van Gogh, Monet, all the bunch, the classics, whatever, and all of that. But what we do as crafters, we are artists, all right? We may not be hung in a gallery, but we are artists. But it's a different level. And I don't mean it's higher, I don't mean it's lower. It's just a different plane of existence. What I'm afraid of is I'll get these people who will come to this class. I am not someone that's known out in the world as being an artist. I have a certain following, but I mean, I'm not a biggie, not even close. they'll start on this and then they'll want to do their own thing. Well, actually, I don't have a problem with them doing their own thing. In fact, I encourage it when I teach art journaling classes. Think outside the box, get over being a type A personality, give up your control, go for it. I know all those things because that's the kind of person that I was or am still, but when it comes to art journaling, no, I just let it go. You'll know what I mean when you see the video about making the Christmas napkins with the fabric paint. It's rendering as I speak, okay? This will explain a lot of things. So, I think I might be putting myself into harm's way because someone's going to be there and they're going to criticize me. And rightfully so, but they may not necessarily be constructive criticism. I can handle constructive criticism. I know I'm not an artist, like on that level. But, you know, you paid your money, you got my course. I'm still the instructor, I'm the leader of the course. I'm still a teacher, all right? It's not like I just walked in off the street out of this. And I put a lot of effort and planning into doing this. So, nobody signed up? Great. Well, she was going to push it at this meeting that was coming up last Wednesday to see if we got anybody. I went, okay, fine. So I'm going to go in there tomorrow and you say, anybody signed up? I'm hoping nobody has. Because the only way it's going to be worthwhile my time for prepping and doing everything with it is if I have more than one person. So I'm pretty much sure there's not going to be anybody. And then I'm going to say, fine, not a problem. I don't care. That's all right. Let's move on. We'll talk about it when April comes around again. Let's see how this works. They're a weird group. They really are. They have a total mentality that I don't understand and I don't get. And, you know, that's really not a negative criticism. Well, it is, sort of. But, I mean, I'm not trying to put them down. I'm just saying that we work on different planes of existence. So, whatever. So, I don't know what's going to go on with that. So, on Tuesday, we have our housekeeper comes to clean the house. Yes, we have a housekeeper. She comes every other week and cleans. And people will say to me, oh, you're both retired now. Why do you have a housekeeper still? Because I don't like doing it. And why should I waste my golden years cleaning my house? I like a clean house. We are not dirty people.
Kind of neat freaks.
Yeah.
In fact, our housekeeper has an easy job.
Yeah, she has a really easy job because we clean before she gets here. But, you know, like, yeah, I have that. So I don't like to be here when the house cleaner comes. So I usually do shopping when he was working, and he used to go into work for that. He worked at home most of the time, but in the last couple
On
of
Tuesdays,
years.
I would go into
But
work.
he would go into work, so fine. But now he's retired, we're both here. So I said, so what are we going to do on Tuesday? Well, I forgot all about that Mr. Social Butterfly has a luncheon and a dinner date that night with his retired bunch from his
There's
work.
a bunch of people from work that have in the past year started up an every other month luncheon group to get together. So I said I'd go. And the first luncheon's November 14th. And then I have a group of people I go out to dinner with sometimes that I used to do stained glass with. And they were supposed to go out last Tuesday. But the person that was organizing it couldn't make it anymore. So they moved it over to this Tuesday, which I'm not crazy about because I'm not really crazy about going out for lunch and going out for dinner on the same day. But we are, so.
Well, you are.
I am. He's on his own.
I don't know what I'm doing that day. I might go up to the craft store that's in a place north of us and look around and spy for the owner of the craft store here in Oshawa that I'm good friends with. I don't know. I may do that. I have some other pieces. I have to pick up a few things for my mother. She needs some calendars, for 2018. She needs a couple of big ones because her social calendar just fills up so quick. Like not at all. And she wants one for her purse. So I can get her one for her purse. I will do that. And I will take myself out for lunch, probably over at the shopping center. I'll probably either have Thai or Chinese, whatever. check out the magazines, possibly in Chapters, the bookstore, and possibly have a caramel macchiato while I'm waiting to get back. And if I get really desperate, I'll go over to the art gallery and start looking at the permanent collection, so I know when I do the tour next Monday, a week from this Monday coming, I'll know what I'm talking about. So anyways, Cindy says, hello guys. Hi Cindy. Cindy, where are you from? I'm just trying to keep I have a little list here in front of me that, so I know, I like to make it a little bit more personal. And Anita says, laugh out loud, Walter, you cracked me up. And then Cindy says, Walter, calm down. Yeah, calm down. Really?
My mother used to call me Mr. Excitement.
Yeah, well, your mother was right. And Bev says, I have a housekeeper come in 5 days a week to clean my house and clean, so why can't you? Huh?
Oh, she only comes in 1 day every other week.
Whoa, 5 days a week. Does she cook too?
She got a big house or what?
You know, if I won one of the big lotteries, a huge one thing I would have is I'd have a cook and I'd have a chauffeur. Okay? Because I don't really like...
You have a chauffeur.
Yeah, you.
It's me.
Yeah, I know, but you're getting kind of senile about that. Oh my God, like scare me. When we go to Australia, there's going to be a lot of screaming and it'll be me going...
Why you scream anyway? I don't know why.
Well, why? Look, that's a stop sign. That's a red... The red light is not a suggestion. All right?
Close your eyes.
Cindy says Littleton is NH New Hampshire.
Close your eyes half the time you fall
What's
asleep.
What's
anyway.
NH? New Hampshire?
I think so.
New Hampshire? I can't say it. I knew that. So she's from Littleton. Let's spell that right. Littleton, New Hampshire. Okay. About an hour from Canada. Yep, you're close to us. Bev also says she cooks, she cleans, she makes sure that I take medicines that I need to take. My God. Actually, I just, in the process of trying to hire somebody to come into my mother's place every other week, 1 week to do some light housekeeping and clean her bathroom and change her linen, and then the week after that, or the next time she comes in, to do her laundry and stuff for her. My mother makes herself decrepit. She's only 77, but she does have difficulty walking, but there's nothing wrong with her mind. And
she has difficulty walking because she doesn't do any walking.
Yeah. Well, it's okay. We can say these things because there's no chance that she'll ever see it because my mother doesn't know.
She doesn't know what
she doesn't have a
technology.
computer.
She doesn't even know what YouTube is.
No, she doesn't. So, but she knows what program she likes on television because she watches that all day long. I love my mother, but she gives me a pain in the you-know-what. And Bev also says, oh, bye, Dorothy. I'm just saying that if you want a housekeeper to come and clean your house, you are to be able to have a housekeeper come and clean your house. Yeah. I mean, I don't make any excuses for it. I look at other people and go, well, who's the stupid one here? I have better things to do with my life than to chase after dust bunnies. And Cindy says, careful, you have sisters.
I have one sister.
He has one sister. I have one sister. Used to have two, but one's dead. Yeah.
Well, she doesn't count anymore.
She doesn't count anymore.
And
Ilona says, I have a house cleaner. My husband. Oh, you're lucky. Cheaper that way. And Anita says, I'm a nurse. Worked for years with elderly. Oh, okay. Yep. Well, you know, as a school teacher, I used to, for years, before we ever had a house cleaner, I would spend my whole day on Saturday pretty much cleaning. I hated it. I hated it because I was tired from the week out. I had other things, and in those days too, I still had schoolwork I had to do on the weekend as well. And no, life is too short. And, you know, expense-wise, ours doesn't cost a lot. She's $100 a pop. She comes twice in a month. It's well worth the $200 I spend in a month. And I know she's cheap because other services could cost a lot more than that. So we're lucky. and we've had her for a long time, and she's not maybe the best, but she's pretty good. And like Walter said, we're pretty much neat freaks anyway, so she has an easy
It's not
job.
like we sort of let things go.
No.
If I see something that needs to be vacuumed, vacuum.
Oh, by the way, did you pick up your underwear out of the bathroom?
Yes, I did.
Oh, good for you. Yay. It's the one thing I don't want the housekeeper having to do. Pick up your underwear with that. Okay, so yeah, that's about the week, and that's probably
That's it.
enough time. Yep.
Yeah.
We've been on for over 90 minutes now, so 100 minutes, so we're running late here. And anyways, so let us know in the comments below if you prefer this time period. 4 o'clock, Sunday afternoons, Eastern Standard Time here in Canada. I know it's late for you people that are in Europe and in Britain, but it's early for those of you that are out in Central Time or out on the West Coast. So let us know. We're still playing with this. I did put a teaser up today, just beforehand, to let people know that we were going to be on. So, and I saw that a few people saw that. And yeah, so just looking at the last minute comments here. For Craft and Bev, it's 2 p.m. for her there, and Craft and Bev is in Boise, Idaho, so you're Central Time. Yeah. Wait,
No,
2 p.m.?
that would be.
Oh, do you mean when we start it?
Oh, maybe.
No. Well, wait. It should only be an hour. I'm confused.
Oh, maybe she didn't have. Do they have daylight savings time?
Oh, didn't think about that. Yeah, because we're on daylight savings time now, so it could be 2 hours difference.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Bye, Ilona. You have a great week too. And nice seeing you, Shelly, as well. And Bev says, I'm sorry, it was about 3 p.m. I'm sorry, so it's an hour difference. Okay. All right, all this time shifting, time travel. Okay, well, it's time for Walter to check his meat in the oven, so to speak. And thank you all for watching, and always enjoy this.
Thank
you. Check my vlog tomorrow when it comes out on there, because I have some really weird things to show you. And we'll see you all next week. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.